We're living the life, we're living it right. Voice of the people, we shining the light. Talking that real, truth on the mic. News, wellness, culture, keeping it tight. From actors to artists, we changing the game. Entrepreneurs rising, remember the name. Tina Marie Hollywood, bringing that flame. Gerald C. Anderson C, you're doing the same. Buff Patterson in the frame. And the life media moments making its name. Yeah, from heart to the hustle, watch how we grow. It's the Life Live. Now you know.
Hey, good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Life Live. I'm Gerald C. Anderson Sr., as you probably already know. And we're here tonight, and we have a guest for you tonight. That's a very interesting young man. I'm sure he's going to have a lot to be able to share with you tonight. Hopefully, we can get Buff on as well. She wasn't able to hear me, but we were able to hear her. So let's see if we can at least hear what Buff has to say tonight. Can you hear me? No. Buff. Well, I guess you can't hear me. So we will go on to the show. So we have Nicholas K. Young with us tonight. And Mr. Nicholas Young is, was that Tina? Was that her? Was that Buff? Now can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
I can't hear a thing that you're saying. You know what? This is what happens when you buy computers from Walmart. It is. It's me. It's me. Look, I'm going to come back in 5 minutes to have it fixed. Give me 5 minutes.
Okay.
5 minutes.
5 minutes.
Right back.
All right. Well, we're going to go ahead with Nicholas Young. He's a therapist. He's a minister. He's an author of
I'm coming back in a few minutes.
Of a children's book.
It's a computer problem. It's not.
So without any further ado, we're going to bring Nicholas onto the stage. Hey, what's going on there?
Hey, how's it going?
These technical issues, I'm telling you.
I get it. Happy Monday. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well. How you doing?
I'm doing well. It's a good day.
All right. So you're a multi-talented person, I see. You're a licensed therapist, a minister, and you're an author. And you got some other things in your bio that we're going to bring out too. But I also noticed that you're a former chaplain in the U.S. Army National Guard.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. I'm former Air Force myself. So.
Oh, that's what's up. All
right. So tell us how you got started out here. I know the thing is being a minister and a therapist. So I saw you went to Morehouse University. So,
yes, sir.
So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, I'm a son, a grandson, a brother, an uncle, and a friend. And I come from the Southern Maryland region, and my family's from South Carolina and Virginia. Mm-hmm. And I think my mom had a pastor pray over her womb when she was pregnant with me. And I think those, I would call that prenatal care that had an impression on me. Some of my earliest memories are me trying to preach to the living room furniture. And here I am years later in ministry and in mental health.
All right. So in ministry, so when did you get into ministry?
Honestly, I was very young. I was about 12 when I answered my call for the first time. Yes, sir. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. If you don't mind asking me, how many years ago was that?
That was well, I'm 30 now, so that was
18 years then.
18. Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's a young start. You know, a lot of us don't get started that young. You know, we all have different paths. So I can tell you that I was 30 years old when I found my way to Christ. So but that's great. You started at 12. So what got you there?
I think it was just a call on me. I think the scriptures were something I gravitated towards. I felt this push and this tug, and I said yes. And by God's grace, God has kept me ever since. I think one thing about being young and answering your call is that just because you answered your call doesn't mean you aren't young. So I've grown up in ministry. I've become a man in ministry. I've been a young man, a very young man in ministry. And so all of the things that come along with being a young man and being younger, those things have happened while I've been in the calling at the same time. And so it's an interesting dynamic.
Okay. So being young, how do you handle other guys who are like your age because you were coming up and you're in ministry, and of course they're not in ministry? How did you work that?
It's interesting. People have always loved my call and made space for it. On the bus, I was Bible boy, and on the football field, I was preach. And I don't know if can you still hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, okay, it had froze on my side. I'm sorry. So people have always made space, allowed me to pray, and as I've gotten older, trusted the anointing and allowed me to be with them in life when they had decisions to make that were important in life. And so I've always found space amongst guys and ladies my age.
Okay. Because I always found that interesting, because there was some guys growing up too when I was growing up that were in the church, in the ministry, and I wasn't. So I wonder how they always felt. I guess it really depends on the person. I guess and how the respect that you gain in the community as you're growing up. And some people handle it differently, I guess. So tell us how you got into therapy.
Yeah, I did find that in ministry I was doing a lot of mental health work. I was doing a lot of mental health work, shooting from the hip and calling it the spirit. And I felt like I was underprepared for the calling I had said yes to, and I was doing the people God had called me to serve a disservice. So while I was in seminary, by God's grace, I was also able to get a master's in clinical social work simultaneously at a university about 40 minutes away. And through that, I was able to get ordained and get licensed around the same time.
Okay. And so you able to use both of them in your clinical setting, or?
Well, I think because I am a believer, I do have that mindset all the time, everywhere I go, and all the things that I do. So they both do show up in the same space. And maybe if somebody doesn't explicitly ask for that, I can't turn off the fact that I'm a blood washed believer.
Right.
And I found that things and experiences I had from one space help complement me in another space. And when someone does ask for it explicitly, they can make a nice, beautiful merger. But if someone's not asking for that, I try to keep things in the lane that it's supposed to be in, but it will, there is a bias there.
Yeah, I asked that question because my wife is also a counselor, therapist, and of course she's a believer too, so she's balancing the two also. So that's, and oftentimes we kind of talk about when you're in that kind of setting, how you have to balance your belief and what you're supposed to be counseling on as well, with people. So you can get it in, you just have to artfully. That's kind of what she said. So is that the same thing with you then? It sounds like.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Have you had any challenges in that area?
I haven't. I honestly haven't had any challenges merging or being in one lane. No, I haven't, sir.
Okay. Yeah. And I know it's at times She's had some challenges, but she has to just handle it. But I know it can be challenging, especially when you're counseling people and groups of people or whatever, and they don't believe. That's I know that can be a challenge. So
Yep.
yeah. So in your, what do you do in ministry? And do you have a specific area that you're ministering over?
Well, I do a couple of things. I do make content on all social media platforms. Besides YouTube, I'm not there yet, but I am on TikTok, I am on Instagram, I am on Facebook, and at Nick Young's Life, and I do a lot of ministry engagement there. I have conversations about theology, Christian nationalism, and also talk about if I'm reading scripture and there's revelation that comes to me, I share those things as well. And so I'm in terms of, I would say I fall in the bucket of Christian content creation. I serve at a couple different church spaces at New Bethel Baptist Church as the leader of young adults for our young adults there. I also am the men's minister at Greater Mount Nebo AME Church in Prince George's County, Maryland. So I'm serving in both roles and capacities in a ministerial capacity, ministerial status.
Okay. So I don't know why I was thinking this before the show, but at least for probably about 100 years, people have talked about, we're in the end times, when the end times.
Uh-huh.
But never before we really felt like we were in the end times like we do right now. So what's your thoughts on that?
I'm a history buff. So I think people have been predicting and feeling like they were in the end times since forever.
Right.
I think that contrary to what the media may make us feel, we live in some of the most peaceful times in world history. Nero incinerated over 1 million Christians, like burned them alive. And people thought that the end of the world was coming. Paul thought the end of the world was coming during his lifetime. The bubonic plague happened. I mean, I could go on and on and on. During the American Revolution, George Washington says these are the times that troubles men's souls, and there were other people. Hey, I was baptized by Pastor Weaver too. That's nice. People. Yeah, I mean, we are in challenging times, but I mean, they used to bomb little girls in church,
Wow.
that is. Little girls worshiping the Lord were bombed by Christians. So the Middle Passage. I mean, those are the times. The Edmund Pettus Bridge. These are times where people are also saying there's no way the world can continue like this. So, being a student of history, I don't know when the world is going to end. But Jesus also says nobody will know the time or the hour.
Right.
But I do know, looking at people's memoirs and stuff, a lot of people have always thought that things were uniquely terrible in their time in contacts. So I just try to keep my eyes on the Lord, and if it happens, I pray that I'm right and square with the house.
Yeah, I know we all pray that, boy. I know a lot of people fear the Book of Revelations. So what are your thoughts there?
I don't think there's anything to fear if you square with the house. You got your eyes fixed on Jesus. I don't think you have anything to fear with the Book of Revelations. But if you're not living right, maybe it's time to get your house in order, and and we serve a forgiving and a graceful God.
Amen. So tell us about the book. You have a children's book, looks like. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I had a friend ask me recently what made you write the children's book, and I said, hey, I'm working with adults. I'm oftentimes, when doing providing mental health services, I am finding that I'm working against stigma, having to reintroduce the concept of therapy in a non-negative way to folks, and to not There's a lot of work that's deprogramming that I'm having to do, and so the idea came for me. Hey, you know what would be great? It would be great if we started teaching kids about therapy as kids. If we started
Right.
giving them the tools to identify when they need to go to therapy and how therapy can help them as children. What a world we would live in if kids were taught what a therapist was, how to access a therapist, and how therapy can help their emotions and their relationships. And that's exactly what the book Carry, the Caring Koala with a K. That's exactly how that book is set up. It has a workbook in the back. It has some resources for parents as well. Kids really love and enjoy the resource as a book. But it just came from wanting to make a world where we plant the seeds for mental health care early on. We also hear as Black men how much better we as Black men can be doing in our community, and I wholeheartedly agree. I think that you get better Black men when better Black men have better mind care for themselves, and better investments in their minds and their mental health. And so as many books that I can get in the hands of our Black boys and teaching them about therapy and mental health very early, I think that leads to a young man who knows that his emotions are okay and his mental health is okay, and it's okay to ask for help. I think that the goal is to have a better world.
And speaking of Black boys, you have a LLC called Black Boys LLC, right?
Yes, sir. Black Boy Therapy. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so the organization seeks to equip parents and caregivers of Black boys, anyone who's actually invested on the tools and resources needed to help Black boys' mental health. So we do workshops like teaching parents how to get your child therapy, what type of therapy your child may need. With the Black boys themselves, we have workshops on consent. We have workshops teaching them about mental health. We have emotional regulation workshops, and we do these. We typically get partnered with organizations. We at sometimes quarterly we'll have a thing where people can just register, but typically we partner with organizations that ask us to come in and do it. Churches, football teams, mentoring programs, organizations on college campuses have us come in. We come do these workshops with people, and we pour and we custom tailor these are things, and the goal is to our motto is, when you save his mind, you save his life.
That's a good motto. Yeah. So is that just around the DMV area here, or do you guys expand across the country, or how does that work if someone wants to get a hold of you?
So my business partner is a pastor in New Jersey, and he does frequent activity in New Jersey area. I'm here in the DMV region. I do frequent activity here, but we also travel. So we've been as far north at this point as northern New York to Ithaca, and we've been as far south as Monroe, Louisiana. So wherever in the nation there's a call for us, we will go.
Okay. And how do people get a hold of you, and if they wanted to have you to be a part of the event?
At Black Boy Therapy LLC on Instagram is a great way to reach out to us. At Black Boy Therapy LLC at gmail.com is another way to get with us. And then they can also follow me at Nick Young's Life and send a direct message. And we can see about how we can get resources to a group you may want us to serve.
Okay. And how long have you been doing that?
Black Boy Therapy was established in 2022.
Okay. About coming up on 4 years or so?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. So in the book, going back to the book, I don't think we said where you can get that from.
Yes, it can be found on Amazon. Carry, the Caring Koala. That's Kerry, the Caring Koala, like a koala bear, on Amazon, and it's children really love the book.
Yeah, I dropped the name of the book in the comments, so they'll know what to look for.
Awesome, thank you, sir.
All right. So, and then you said you gave your Instagram. That's how people can reach you. They can reach you on Instagram.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So, anything else you want to share? I always like to ask people, where do they see themselves about 5 years from now?
By God's grace, I pray that by then I'm married. I would like to be a great husband and a great father 5 years from now. I'd like to continue being a great son. If I'm faithful, a great son to my parents, a great grandson to my grandfather, and a great brother to my sister, a great uncle to my nephew and my nieces. And I hope that I'm a great friend and I'm doing something the Lord's called me to do. I have no idea where things are going to shake. Professionally, doors open and close, and this happens and that happens. But I just hope I'm somewhere being a good person.
Okay, that's a good plan for 5 years. But we oftentimes we try to map out our own path. And we are not the author of our own path.
Yes,
and sometimes we realize that when God makes a shift in our life, and we end up somewhere where we didn't expect we were supposed to be. So when you sit back and you leave it in His hands, you left it in a good place.
Yes,
so
sir.
that's a good plan. That's a good plan. So,
yes,
so what advice would you give others as you come across especially black men? I know that's your number one thing is working with black men, which is a good thing too. So we need more of that. So
the advice I would give, I would just say that falling in love with Jesus was the best thing I've ever done. It was better than Morehouse, better than Princeton Seminary, better than Rutgers, better than the U.S. Army, better than being a homeowner, better than being a car owner, a motorcycle driver. Falling in love with Jesus is the best thing I've ever done. And I found Jesus to be a waymaker, a miracle worker, and a promise keeper. And I know that if He can do it for somebody like me, He can also do it for you.
All right. Now, especially young teenagers as they're coming up in the church, what advice would you give them? Because I know that they get tried every day, probably. As they continue to try to stay on that path. So, what advice would you give them?
I would tell them the same exact thing. They're dealing with the same type of spiritual warfare we deal with in cubicles. They're dealing with in the classroom, that we deal with in rush hour traffic. They're dealing with on the school bus or on the train. And so I would tell them to trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not into your own understanding. God has you. You're here for a reason, and that reason is because God is still seated on the throne. So trust God, not your GPA, and not the person, not the peanut gallery. Trust God.
Amen. All right. Well, thank you for coming by tonight. We appreciate you dropping the knowledge on us. And like I said, I dropped your book in the comments. So everybody wants you to go out and buy this young man's book. You see, he's on fire for the Lord. Let's help him out a little bit.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right. Yeah, have a good evening.
Yes, sir. You too.
Okay.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. So that is the end of our show tonight. I forgot to mention that Tina's having voice issues, so therefore she was not able to be here tonight. So you were stuck with just me. So I hope you enjoyed the interview with Nick. Sorry, Buff couldn't get her audio right. Would have loved to have heard that positive media moment. I'm sure it'll be good the next time we tune in. I'm sure she'll have it for us. Maybe she'll have two for us. Who knows? So thank you all for joining us tonight, and we will see you the next time.